I'll make sure I just tweet from like one at a time. All right. I can't start this up on my notes up, can I? All right. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to the WrassleCast, episode 240. I'm your host, Don Delarente, and I'm joined by my SmackDown Matters correspondent, Miss Didi Jonay.
Hey, friend.
What's going on, friend? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good on a Thursday night before Super Showdown.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
that thing in that place.
Yeah, that unnamed place that they keep saying, Jeddah. The only Jeddah I know is a Volkswagen. This is the WrassleCast. We can be found on the CSPN each and every week by visiting the website www.cspn.us. You can also find the WrassleCast on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and YouTube. So, Miss Didi Chane, we're gonna just talk about the matches on the card. We're not gonna play who you got. Just gonna
Yay!
let everybody know what's gonna happen in Jeddah on Friday. The hashtag, if you care to live tweet, will be hashtag Blood Money Cast. That won the vote that we had this week. So that will be the hashtag that we will use for our live tweets on Friday starting at 2 p.m. So on the kickoff show, we're going to have the Usos and the Revival. Lars Sullivan is taking on the Lucha House Party. There's going to be a 50-man battle royal. Braun Strowman is taking on Bobby Lashley. Finn Balor and Andrade are going to wrestle for the Intercontinental Championship. Triple H will face Randy Orton. Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon. Kofi Kingston will try to get the WWE Championship away from, or keep the championship away from, Dolph Ziggler. Seth Rollins will defend his Universal Championship against Baron Corbin. And the main event will be Goldberg versus The Undertaker. Miss Didi Janae, your thoughts?
hmm Um, they got a lot of nerve putting the Usos on the kickoff show and not the Lucha House Party. That's about all I got.
There's a 50-man battle royal. Hopefully this year Titus takes his time coming down to the ring.
Oh yeah, that was that.
Yes, it was.
um, I mean, with the 50 man, I guess I'm hoping for all the people we don't see, like uh, Wyndham Rotunda's little brother.
Oh yeah, the B team and the 205
Yeah,
live guys. Yeah,
yeah,
they're
all
all
of
gonna be
them.
in there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, yeah. Finn Balor versus Andrade should be pretty good.
Yeah, and it's
And
not Finn, it's the demon.
right, that's right.
So that
You're
should be
right.
even better. So if nothing else, the entrance will be flames. So
With Pyro.
yes. Listen, I know how we feel about the blood money, but if the blood money goes to Pyro, it's like 5% okay, right?
it
Like
does add to the spectacle again. Like, yeah, you know what? We do actually need this.
the pyro is so necessary. And my thing is, and I said this last year, if you're gonna take their money, why don't you just take enough to cover pyro for all the fun events? Like, just overbill them. They don't care. They got money to blow.
Right. They want to see Goldberg and Undertaker. That tells you they don't care about wasting money.
Listen, if you never wondered, that should tell you all you need to know. And we could
So
have had pyro on a Monday, but no.
nah, like Brock Lesnar's entrance needs the pyro.
AJ Styles would benefit from pyro. Goldberg certainly needs his little sparklers. Like, there's so many people. Everybody needs a little bit of something, something, a little pop.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely with you. So Friday, if you listen to the podcast as it drops, 2 p.m., I will be, let me put that more specific to me, because I'm like El Dandy. I'm a true professional and I'm a stand-up guy. So I will be watching and live tweeting the Super Showdown. We'll talk about NXT 25. Took place this past Saturday night. What a show. We start off with Matt Riddle facing Roderick Strong. Matt Riddle counters out of the Strong Hall with up kicks, and then the Bro Mission follows and elbow strikes. Strong powers up and eats more elbows, and the Bro Derek, which is like kind of a tombstone version of the Styles Clash, looks pretty sick. But Matt Riddle got the win. This was an awesome opening match. Really good stuff. Really good chain wrestling, counter wrestling, little MMA. Very impressed with Matt Riddle. If you saw this DD Jonay, your stock would rise on Matt Riddle.
I saw part of it. I like him. He's really lanky though. Like it's a shock to me that he knows what to do with all of his limbs at the same time.
Have you seen Keith Lee before?
No.
Okay. I think look him up on your Google machines.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just the guy for you.
Really?
Yes.
Well, let's see what the Google says.
Our next match.
Hey, Keith Urban. Oh, I see where you're going with it. No, I have seen him. I didn't know his name. I've seen him. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, 84. He's older. You know, these little wrestling boys are young now. Yes.
We had a 4-way ladder match for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championships. The Street Profits versus Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus the Forgotten Sons versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. It breaks down as Lorcan and Burch smash the Street Profits with the ladders. Then they toss the ladders, taking out all of the Forgotten Sons. Lorcan and Burch, they climb up the ladder, but the Undisputed Era cuts them off, and now they climb up the ladders. Lorcan and Burch, they head back up the ladders, and they all brawl on the 4 ladders. The Forgotten Sons topple both of these ladders over, and they start to climb up. But Angelo Dawkins makes the save. Montez Ford springs Ford onto the ladder. Ford knocks off Cutler, and the Street Profits win the NXT Tag Team titles. This match was brutal.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Kyle O'Reilly took some of the nastiest ladder match falls you will ever see. Oh, his back was all messed up. Even the next day on Twitter, he was like, yes, you know, it hurt when I was doing it, but today he put up the gift from Half Baked. I need a backotomy. Yeah, he got fucked up in this match. Street Profits had the fire entrance. They had the crowd just crunk with all the red cups and everybody dancing. Montez Ford, it was a day after his birthday, so he was extra lit. Had his Biggie crown on. They had some fresh outfits. So just a crowning achievement for my man, Angelo Dawkins. He's literally been in NXT the longest of anybody there. So this is the first time he's gotten on. This is their first time on TakeOver. All of this stuff. So they knocked down a whole bunch of milestones with the Street Profits. Yeah, so big ups to those guys. Long time coming. The Velveteen Dream. He defended his NXT North American Championship against Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze hits the beauty shot, but the Velveteen Dream rolls to the floor. You know why? Because he's smart. Breeze follows, but he can't get Velveteen Dream back in the ring, so he just breaks the count himself. The Velveteen Dream tries to hit him with the title, but Breeze stops the belt shot. But that distraction allows the Velveteen Dream to hit the Dream Valley Driver, followed up by the Purple Rainmaker elbow, and the Velveteen Dream retains the North American title. After the match, The Velveteen Dream takes a selfie and poses, mocking Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze wants a selfie with the Dream, and they take it as a show of mutual respect. You didn't see this yet? You didn't see this match either?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was good. It was a little, had a couple of rough patches here and there, but all in all, good match. Definitely Velveteen Dream, a legend in the making. He was dressed up like, okay, because they were in, I think they were in Connecticut. I want to say they were in Bridgeport. So he was dressed up like Triple H with the shirt and the hair up, and he did like the Triple H bow, the old school Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because Connecticut blue blood type.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he had that kind of thing going on.
Cool.
We get a Damian Priest slash Punishment Martinez video package. So he's going to be the newest arrival into NXT. Now it's time for the match that Didi Janae probably cares about the most. Shayna Baszler facing off against Io Shirai, NXT Women's Championship match. Io Shirai fights off the Karabuta clutch. She hits the Shote, and then the top rope moonsault misses. She lands on her feet. She counters the Karabuta clutch again, and she hits a head kick. The bridging cradle gets a 2 count, but Shayna counters it into the Karabuta clutch. Io Shirai fights. The crowd tries to rally her to her feet, but Shayna Baszler rolls, keeps Io held down. Io fades, and the ref has to wave it off as Shayna Baszler retains the NXT Women's Championship. The girls tried to come down there to give her some help, and Candice LeRae was true to her word. She put the beating on them with the kendo stick. One of our followers, I don't know who it is, and I did not favorite the tweet, referred to the kendo stick as a switch. And yes, that was my tweet of the night. So, but it wasn't over. After the match, Io Shirai just snaps. She asks for the kendo stick from Candice, and she just goes to town again on Shayna Baszler. Yay. She then goes up top. She lands the moonsault. Then she goes back up top. She demands that Candice give her a chair. Reluctantly, Candice hands Io the chair, and Io does a moonsault with the chair on the Shayna Baszler. She snapped. She stomps out of the ring while the crowd chants, "You deserve it," to Shayna Baszler. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't. Yeah, you would have loved the you wouldn't have loved the match.
No, I saw
the post match though.
Yeah, I saw that part. And she was on the Twitter machines talking about, oh, but when I did it, y'all didn't like me, but you cheering her when she did it. Yeah, bitch, 'cause you're awful. Like, when you be trying to triple team people and somebody finally turns the ties on you, we like that. It's different.
So I guess they're still gonna give Io another title shot, and somehow they got to involve Candice in this. So interesting little mix of the storyline coming up. Now for the main event, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, baby, for the NXT Championship match. Adam Cole gets a fire entrance with the Russell and Flow gentlemen rapping out the lyrics to the Undisputed Era theme. So that was pretty cool. Johnny Gargano is dressed as Captain Marvel. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Johnny Gargano was down. Adam Cole picks him up, and Gargano snags him into the Gargano escape. Adam Cole fights, and he crawls for the ropes, but Gargano rolls him back into the middle. So Adam Cole attacks the knee, and that allows him to escape. Adam Cole super kicks Johnny's injured knee. The Panama Sunrise is countered, but Gargano can't follow up. So Adam Cole is able to hit the Panama Sunrise followed by the last shot. He pins Johnny Gargano, and Adam Cole, baby, is your new NXT champion. These boys put on a hell of a match right here. It was just as good, maybe a tick better, depending on who you ask, than their 2 out of 3 falls match from Brooklyn Takeover.
Oh.
They do this one near fall, man, where it is like, I think it's when he hit the Panama Destroyer on the outside of the ring, and then he hit him like he faked him out like he was gonna call the Undisputed Era out. They didn't come out. Gargano goes to get back in the ring. When he gets back in the ring, he hits him with like a pile driver, and then he hits him with like the last shot, and he pins him, and only gets a 2 count. Oh, I thought it was over. I was like, yeah, they got me on that one. But Johnny Gargano, unfortunately, somebody posted he's the Sasha Banks of NXT. He can win the titles, but he can't defend them. Popular decision for Adam Cole, though, to get the belt. Everybody is an Adam Cole fan, so
Everybody loves Adam Cole, baby.
This was an awesome show. This was just as good as Double or Nothing, the AEW show.
Mm.
And in reality, this is probably the show that we should have expected to have an answer for Double or Nothing, not Raw or SmackDown. Because these are the guys that are like the peers to the guys in AEW. Like all the guys that are in NXT and aren't in Impact and aren't in ROH, they're all in AEW. So they're kind of like their own little mix of characters. But everybody else that's on like the main roster, they're kind of like in another tier above kind of those guys. But this was great. It wasn't as good. A lot of people are like, oh, best takeover ever. But every time there is a takeover, it's so good. Everybody's like, oh, best takeover ever. I still think the best takeovers are Takeover New Orleans is number one. The one that y'all went to, the SummerSlam weekend, I think that's number 2. The first one in Brooklyn, the very, very first one with Sasha and Bailey, that's like number 3. I think those are my top 3.
Seems legit.
Yeah, have to go back and watch a few of them again just to kind of make sure. But yeah, I'll just off the top of my head, there's no takeover to me that's better than New Orleans.
I don't know that I've seen that one.
That was the one with the ladder match for the North American title. So it was like Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole.
No, I saw that one.
Yeah,
I saw that one.
Yeah, that shit was hot. So we'll move on to something a lot less hot. Monday Night Raw. Austin, Texas is the location. The big dog arrives, but Shane McMahon interrupts him before Roman can even start. Shane says he will shut up Roman, prove that he's the best in the world, and then pin or submit Roman. Roman tells him to shut up and says he'll just take him out since Shane won't have help. He says he will then go on to beat Drew at Stomping Grounds. And then that's when Drew McIntyre arrives and disputes that. And then the Revival attack Roman from behind. And the Usos come down to make the save. And we have a big brawl. And guess what that leads to, Didi?
What? A match.
A 6-man tag team match.
When does it start?
Right now.
No way.
After a commercial. Roman Reigns and the Usos, aka the Bloodline, aka the Samoan Dynasty, aka the Samoan Coalition, face off against Drew McIntyre and the Revival. Shane crosses Jay on the top rope and Roman chases Roman chases him but eats a Claymore. Drew then finishes Jade with the Claymore as Jimmy eats the Shatter Machine on the floor. After the match, Roman gets a Shatter Machine and a spear from Shane McMahon. Did you see this, Miss Didi?
Probably. I don't be paying no attention to Shane.
But it was more like the Samoans all
Oh yeah,
together.
yeah, yeah. I saw them. I saw. Well, I didn't see all the match. I did see Shane Spear around, and I did
The
see that.
part that you would least like to see, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was very disappointing. But for some reason, that sticks out deeply in my mind. Like I don't really remember how the match ended, but I remember the spear. So I was like, you gotta be able to avoid it, can't you? Can't you just put your leg up?
This
Probably
is
not, but
very disrespectful.
let's just break your little leg. Let's just take this. Yeah.
It's time for Miz TV. Seth joins the Miz. Miz asks him about his match on Friday with Corbin, but then brings up Lesnar allegedly cashing in tonight. Rollins says Brock
Uh-oh.
I got like the end of this cough is killing me.
Ain't nothing like a summer cold, boyfriend.
Too much air conditioning like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not helping that. I'm trying to drink beer too.
Priorities.
Okay. Let's start that over. Miss TV. Oh man. I gotta turn my watch down. I didn't know my ring was still on. That is so loud. Oh man. Okay. Give me 1 second and we'll get this thing back going. All right. In three, two, one. Now it's time for Miz TV. Seth joins the Miz. Miz asks him about his match on Friday with Corbin. But then he brings up Lesnar allegedly cashing in tonight. Rollins says Brock may not even show up, and Heyman never tells the truth. Rollins is fine with Brock cashing in, and he says that he would be relieved because he can't be focused on what might be because he defends his title tomorrow night, which is Friday. Rollins says no one likes Corbin, but that he did earn his title shot, and then they show Heyman and Brock arriving at the arena. The little Lucha House Party are here as they're followed out by Lars Sullivan. They attack Lars, but he starts beating them all down until the Luchas hit a bunch of drop kicks and send Lars to the floor. Lars growls and then he just walks away. The Iconics, they make fun of Nikki Cross backstage. Alexa Bliss arrives and makes Outback jokes. Alexa and Nikki have some bonding time, and Bliss promises to be in Nikki's corner when she faces Peyton Royce later tonight. The man, Becky Lynch, is here. She says she's been doing some thinking, doing some reflecting on 2019 so far. She's happy and content, but that's the problem. She can't be content because that's when fighters fail. She calls out Lacey Evans, promising revenge. Lacey arrives. Becky mocks her in her own southern drawl and promises to rip her arm off. Lacey says that she will take the Raw title from Becky because this is her division. Charlotte then comes out, reminding Becky not to make excuses because she beat her at Money in the Bank. But Becky asks Charlotte, where's her title? They banter back and forth, with Lacey telling Charlotte that she's yesterday's news. Lacey slaps Charlotte, and that leads to a match. I don't understand why they aren't a tag team. Why are they fighting?
The WWE and their choices.
Like, really? They should be like the biggest tag team, the best tag team going. But anyway, Charlotte versus Lacey Evans. Lacey escapes the figure four and follows with the net breaker. They both go for a running high cross and end up in a double down. And then Becky just attacks Charlotte and we get a disqualification. Rey Mysterio Jr., he has to give up the United States title. Rey says that the WWE is in his blood, and that's something that he shares with his son, who is now training. He says tonight he needs to do the right thing, and due to his injury, and that's when Samoa Joe comes out. Joe is here for his championship because technically Rey never beat him. Rey says he's won titles his whole career, and he's man enough to give up the title due to his injury. He lays down the title in front of Joe, and Joe chokes him out for his troubles.
Where is big ass Dominic?
I hope Rey Mysterio gets well. I hope that his shoulder heals and he can come back in a reasonable amount of time. But Paper Mache Ray is not going to allow me to have Samoa Joe choke out Dominic. Very perturbed by this development.
He could have checked out the whole family on Monday. All Dominic had to do was come down to the ring.
I've been waiting for this for 3 months. Gosh. All right, Cesaro challenges Ricochet to another match tonight, and Ricochet accepts. We're going to have an arm wrestling match between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. So they have the special arm wrestling table. Lashley tries to piss off Braun, and he succeeds. They start, and Lashley pulls away. So they have to break out the strap, just like from over the top. They start again, and Braun wins. So after the contest, Lashley blinds him with the chalk, and then he attacks Braun. But Braun regains his vision. Oh, excuse me. He picks up Braun. He doesn't regain his vision, and Lashley gives Braun the big power slam. That was actually kind of impressive to see Bobby Lashley power slam Braun Strowman.
Sure. Does Bobby Lashley look ashy to you? Or no?
I mean, he did just throw a bunch of powder, so.
No, like perpetually.
Yes. Something tells me that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta mix the Vaseline with the lotion.
Yeah. He doesn't always,
It just look dry.
get his elbows and.
And it's not like he got bad skin. His face is
Yeah.
very even, or he's got a real good makeup application, or whichever. But he just always looks a little unmoisturized.
Maybe he needs to change up his product. Maybe he just be buying that cheap stuff that don't be lasting.
Sometimes you can't buy the Up and Up brand. Sometimes you got to get the name brand stuff.
Yeah. Or you got to go old school and mix a little baby oil in that thing so you be shining for sure.
Well, listen, baby oil gel ain't never steered me wrong. I will say that. Oop, don't mind my noise. I have to go get a drink. It's not that kind of drink. It's just a fancy water. Oh, okay.
R-Truth, he's hiding backstage as Drake Maverick and EC3 are in hot pursuit. EC3 is the next one who is going to be like off of this fucking island.
Like, it's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun.
Right. Nikki Cross faces Peyton Royce. Alexa Bliss gets some coffee delivered to her. They're really playing up this coffee. I don't get it. Royce spills it, and Billie Kay knocks Alexa Bliss down into it. She had on some white jeans, so of course she's got stains.
And then she scooted to make sure that the stains were staining her. But kayfabe, so she was just moving because she was uncomfortable.
The coffee was hot.
Sure.
That allows Nikki to hit the purge, and Nikki gets the win over Peyton Royce. After the match, Alexa Bliss, she totally snaps, and she beats down both of the Iconics. I'm trying to follow this Alexa Bliss coffee thing, but they
Um,
haven't hooked me yet.
I don't know if it's just kind of like a thing of like I'm somebody, so somebody gives me coffee. Like I don't know if that's just what it is. Like they bring me coffee because I'm that girl. So bring me my coffee. I guess. Must say I enjoy her beating up the double iconics.
Whoa
Never thought
now,
I'd say I
whoa
enjoyed
now.
Alexa doing anything. I know. Shocks. Shocks all around. But I could go for Team Psycho. I'm a fan of Nikki. Or Neki. How's she saying it? Neki.
Yeah, Nikki Cross, and it's like a contrast. She doesn't look like everybody else.
Yeah. She's a little less buff, a little more brown. Probably her body size is closer to Bailey's, even though I think Bailey's even more muscular. But Bailey's like bright ass Bailey, hugger Bailey. So she's the only one who's like not that. And I
Hmm.
think that's necessary. You can't have everybody looking, well, never mind. Because when,
Especially if they're not going to feature like Tamina or
yeah,
anybody like that.
because what I was going to say was you can't have, three people who look exactly the same going for the title. On one of them shows, that's exactly what happened. So
Yeah.
forget I said anything.
Seth Rollins comes back to the ring. He's followed by Brock's music. He calls out Brock, daring him to come out here and cash in. Instead, we get Baron Corbin. Corbin says that he's the Dream Crusher and he will win the title on Friday. Corbin says he retired Kurt Angle. He's going to do the same thing to Seth Rollins. They brawl. Seth Rollins dumps Baron Corbin, and that's when Brock music hits, distracting Seth, which allows Baron Corbin to end the days.
Oh,
Brock's music
distraction.
hits again, and this time it's really him. He rushes to the ring. He hits Rollins with a low blow, and then a whole bunch of chair shots and a whole bunch of German suplexes. But Brock, he refuses to have Heyman cash in because he's having too much fun beating up Seth Rollins. We get an F5 on the floor. Brock throws him back in the ring. He hits him with more chair shots. Heyman is begging Brock, cash it in, cash it in. But Brock decides to hit more German suplexes instead. He follows with more chair shots, and then he uses the briefcase. Then Brock leans over the ropes and tells Paul he's going to cash it in on Friday. So they spent all this time and effort promoting, making these videos. Stephanie McMahon, oh, I'm so disappointed in the actions of Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. They're making a mockery of the briefcase and the contract. So
Mm.
then Paul Heyman has this big rebuttal video. I think they were in like Philadelphia or somewhere because he's standing on like these steps of some famous place, and he makes a proclamation that on Monday night Brock's gonna cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Seth Rollins. So guess what? People tuned in to see Seth Rollins get his ass beat. And he got his ass beat, but he just didn't lose the title. Because their ratings were like up like 14% for like the first 2 hours.
I'm so disgusted that this actually works for you people. Like, it's not interesting to me. Like, I
That
don't
was
know.
a good beatdown though.
Maybe it's no, it wasn't.
It was
Oh
the
no, it
second best thing on the show.
wasn't.
Well, it was like the third best thing on the show.
That doesn't mean anything. It's raw. Like
I'm grading on the curve.
the bar is the floor still. Jeez. But I've accepted that maybe it's just me. Maybe I just,
Yeah, you Brock
yeah.
Lesnar has worn all his welcome out with you.
Like I said, the last time I enjoyed seeing him was when he showed up with the beard. Like he can always come back with the beard, but I don't. He's like flush and pale, but also red, and like he's carrying it. He beating people asses with it, but still leaving with the boombox and the shimmy. Like I don't need Brock Lesnar to shimmy. Like that's not what I need from him. I don't like it. Don't like it at all.
I know a lot of the members of the Glow were thumbs up with this. Becky was right by Seth's side as they loaded him up in the ambulance because they had to stretcher his ass out after the beating.
I was going to say Black Love.
Now, see, the difference is Renee Young is on the commentary. She's working,
Yeah,
working. She
yeah.
couldn't have been able to just like be like, okay, I gotta leave y'all. So when Dean was taking out those ass whoopings and everybody was like, well, why don't she help him or do something? Well, she is
Well,
kind of in the middle of her profession right
I
here.
would say when he was behind her and what's his name had put his neck in between the hand railing, I was
Drew.
like, ma'am, go get your husband. That is when I was like, ma'am, go get your husband. But when they like fighting all over the arena, Renee ain't no wrestler. It's not like she was a wrestler and switched to commentary. She's not like a Corey Graves. She's on commentary, so I don't expect her to get down and dirty.
She's
But
not
when
the
he,
best Phoenix.
yeah, well, but yeah, basically, she ain't Natalia. Yeah, I like that reference better. Because you know, Natty is like a good wife to Tyson, I guess. So anyway, she ain't no wrestler, so I don't expect her to do nothing. But when he was right behind her, I was like, "Ma'am, you could have yanked your husband out of the way before he got Claymore kicked to hell. You really could have."
And he was like, yay, they just claimed more kick me to hell. I'm going to be off TV for the rest of my contract. Nope. Now it's time for the very best thing on this show. And I can't believe that I'm saying that this was the best thing on this show because they've been kind of like, oh, for like the last 3 or 4 with me. But the Firefly Funhouse. Bray talks about his fitness and exercise. And he has a puppet, a pig puppet named Hushes. And so what that was supposed to represent was his old character, Husky Harris. And it was supposed to be Vince telling him that, hey man, you could be great. You could reach the limits. The sky's the limit, but you're out of shape. You're fat. You need to get in shape. If you don't get in shape, you'll never get any of these things. So they talk about overcoming weight issues. And that's when the devil himself, Vince McMahon, arrives as Bray relives the time Vince called him fat. And that inspires one of the greatest moments in modern WWE, the Muscle Man dance. So Bray Wyatt is full 80s wrestler here. He's got the tank top. He's got the Zubas. He's got the fanny pack. He looks like straight up Animal or Hulk Hogan from 1985 doing this Muscle Man dance. And this shit was entertaining and funny as hell. Did you see
This
this?
was good. No, I didn't.
Oh my
I
god!
was cooking. I cook really late, so
No,
it,
you need to go back on YouTube and watch that. You will die laughing, especially when you see the Vince McMahon little
oh
devil.
no, I saw the puppet.
Oh my
Listen, Twitter
god!
don't let nothing pass. I saw the puppet.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was great.
It was amazing.
Triple H and Randy Orton, they have a stare down in the ring to hype up their match on Friday. Triple H says he ain't gonna come out here and waste time and talk for 10 minutes because ain't nothing he can say, and Orton's gonna say that's gonna make people want to see the match. Orton says he ain't Batista. Triple H says, yeah, you're right, Randy. You're not Batista. It was true. I told you that you would be one of the best in this business, and you are one of the best in this business. And as he goes to leave, Orton tells him, Triple H, take your balls out of Steph's purse before the match on Friday. Triple H says that That's a great idea, and he'll do just that. But he says his balls are so big and they're such a burden to carry. He says maybe he'll put them in his carry on, but Orton wouldn't know about that because he's never had any balls. Vince McMahon, the writing of Vince McMahon. That's good shit.
What was funny was all the girls on WrassleCast Twitter were like, I know Randy Orton is not talking about anybody's balls and anybody's wife. They're like the pure nerve of you, sir. So
Yeah, because we all know who has his balls.
I tell you, if you just drink enough of this little seltzery water, you can like convince yourself it's actually good.
Baron Corbin, he mocks Seth Rollins for being hurt and proclaims himself the next Universal Champion. Now it's time for Ricochet and Cesaro. They work into counters until Cesaro hits the giant swing. The uppercut follows for two. Ricochet fires back with kicks, and the springboard high cross is countered as Cesaro cradles him up for a 2 count. Cesaro tries a tilt-the-world backbreaker, but Ricochet counters into a cradle, and Ricochet picks up the win. A pissed-off Cesaro attacks Ricochet after the match. Cesaro gets a table from under the ring, but R-Truth is laying on it. He's been hiding under the ring the whole night. So the gaggle of jobbers, they all come down to the ringside and they start to chase him. That's when Cedric Alexander hits a tope con hilo and wipes out the whole pile. Carmella super kicks Drake Maverick, and that allows her and R-Truth to run away. Highlight of the night. That might have been the best thing that on this show. The way that R-Truth was laying on that table when he slid it out and the way he was looking, that was so funny. Undertaker comes out. He talks about coming face to face with death and says that on Friday, Goldberg will come face to face with death. Taker doesn't want Goldberg, the family man. He wants the unstoppable, mythical, legendary Goldberg. But if you bring anything less, our first match will be your last match. He will claim Goldberg's soul for all eternity because Goldberg is next. And then they just cut his ass right off. I don't know if he said anything else or not. We won't know because USA was like, no more overrun. This is all
Damn
you.
right. 11. Not 11:01. 11. Look, I was counting the time. They gave him like 11, like 00, and like 50 some seconds. But it didn't make it to 11:01. It was
Well,
good.
yeah, I was about to say that was good enough. Another okay, subpar, middle of the road effort from Monday Night Raw, kind of par for the course with them lately. It's coming up to be June, the middle of June now. They got to do something to kickstart us into SummerSlam, or that shit is gonna suck.
Mm, everything is awful.
Yeah, yeah, nothing is good. So at this time, we're gonna turn it over to you, Miss Didi Jonay, our SmackDown Matters correspondent.
Oh yeah, they were in College Station, Texas. That's where. That's
Texas
the.
A&M.
Sure. Or is it Texas? Is it Texas A&M or is it the ugly orange colored
No,
Texas?
that's Austin. That's where they were on Monday.
Okay, yeah.
You
So
don't like the burnt orange?
that color is horrific.
Oh, it goes awesome with blue.
I saw it in person, and there was no blue where I was, so it was just a sea of disgusting orange. No shade if that's your school. Like,
No, no,
congratulations.
no, no,
I'm
no,
sure
no,
you
no.
picked well, but it's ugly. They had like a big ass flag and like seven little flags, and like all of these people wearing all these shirts. That's where I saw the other little Shawn Michaels look alike. He was bald though. He gorgeous. But I was like, oh, but
He would look like Shawn Michaels looks now, though. The Shawn Michaels.
like that, but young. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was like, "Mm, wait a minute. But I believe everybody's related. So I was like, hey. But he didn't look very happy. He looks like one of them kind of MAGA Caucasian people. He was
Oh
very cute
no.
though. Very handsome. I can't get involved. I don't talk to strangers no how. But yeah, College Station, Texas. I digress. I'm sorry. It starts off with the New Day. Kofi and Xavier arrives to kick off the show. Kofi talks about life being crazy. They show clips of him going to Ghana. He's emotional. He discusses his return after 26 years away. And the looks in the eyes of the kids was the real reward. He met some relatives, hugged his grandma. Ziggles arrives though, and he says he respects Kofi, but this is all about why Ziggler, is the way he is. Ziggles runs a video package of his story. I enjoy all of the multiple shades of blonde. I enjoy Big E in the back with AJ. Blink and you'll miss him. But I seen Tim. Yes, I did. So yeah, but he says he's got nothing in return. He gave everything to the fans. He gave his soul to the WWE, but Kofi got the moment. It should have, again, this is all old Raven shit. It should have been Ziggler. He should be the hero. Kofi says Ziggles had a great career, and he's been part of that many times. Kofi runs past footage of Ziggles giving up the U.S. title. Kofi says if it should have been Ziggles, it may have been Ziggles, but Ziggles took himself out of the game while Kofi never quit. At poor summer cold. At Super Showdown, it won't be you, and as long as Kobe's champion, it shall never be Ziggles. There's more video. This time, Ziggles attacks Kofi when he returns. Ziggles says Friday it will be him. It will be Raven. Listen, if you don't know the context of my jokes, it should have. It's like, what about me? What about Raven? It's a thing, and I enjoyed it greatly growing up. I was going around quoting that for like the longest. What about me? What about Ray? I don't know why I found it so funny, but I did, and I still do. Anyway, Kevin Owens and his maybe kind of sort of best friend Sami Zayn have a match against Kofi and Xavier. The boom drop connects, and Kofi looks for trouble in paradise, but Kevin stops him, only for Xavier to take Kevin Owens out. There's a trouble in paradise that connects, and Kofi wins. Post match, Ziggles lays out Kofi. Aww. But he won. Shane shows footage of the beatdown that he gave to Roman on Raw, and he says he can beat Reigns and that anything Reigns can do, he can do better. I would bet money that that's not true. Like,
Lots of money. You'd probably get a positive return on investment.
I feel like he can, like, I bet, okay, Shane can jump off of high places better than Roman Reigns because
Yes.
Roman loves himself, so he probably just would, yeah. But yeah, oh, my favorite show is coming back. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Okay, next is time for a moment of bliss. She is here to interview Bailey, and she's actually on the show as a wild card from the quote unquote superior brand. And she introduces Bailey. Bliss isn't happy with her coffee. She gets a better coffee, but she wants a new mug. She makes Bailey wait, and then Bliss says Bailey had a good night at Money in the Bank. Bailey says it took years to get to that night, and Bliss says she's did the same and reminds us that she's a two-time SmackDown Women's Champion when that title meant something. Ooh. Bailey says a lot has changed and she's looking for new opponents. Bliss cuts her off and Bailey slaps the coffee from her hands. You better thug it out, Bailey. Yes. They argue and Carmella arrives. She says you can't talk former champions and Money in the Bank winners without her. And she wants a title shot. Then Charlotte arrives. And she says she talked with Shane and there will be a number one contenders match to see who will face Bailey at Stomping Ground. That's what I meant when I told y'all earlier that there's going to be a match with like the same person three times. Yeah, so it's gonna be Alexa Bliss, the little one, Carmella, the medium sized one, and Charlotte, the tall one. So it's like little Starbucks size cups. Yeah.
Small, medium, and grande.
Tall, grande, venti.
Oh, okay. See, I don't drink their coffee, so I don't know how it goes.
Yeah. I don't drink it either. Too many carbs.
Look at you,
That is
conscious
literally
about everything.
that is literally my life now. Oh, I can't have that. Oh, I can't have that. Oh, it looks nice. Can't have that. Oh, I ate cake today. I wasn't supposed to.
Can you rub it by my belly and maybe, the calories will get into me by osmosis?
Sometimes you just get it from food you can't eat. You just smell it like, smells nice. Can't have that though. It's terrible. I had cake today though.
What
Cause
kind?
wedding cake. She
Oh,
well it was like a bridal shower. So but
same
oddly
difference.
enough,
Icing is so good.
but I don't eat icing. So I know I'm weird. I don't eat icing. So like, peel off the fondant part and then, separate out that middle part because you always have icing in the middle of the layers. Take that part out. The cake itself, oddly enough, tasted like the cream in an Oreo.
Oh my gosh.
It was delicious.
I bet it was.
And I was like, that is the weirdest thing. Like I've never experienced that, but I certainly had me a piece and it was great. And I had me some what did I have me? Some strawberry rosé. I was like, oh, they make fruit punch now. This little new fancy. And then there was Prosecco. I had me some of that too. Yeah, I was acting up today. That's why I'm drinking water now. But again, I digress. Carmelo meets the truth, and he talks about his issues defending the 24/7 title. Shane calls him, well, and he texts Truth. He said my words. Truth apologizes for last week, and Shane books him in a match that is going to happen next. It's versus Elias. There are a gaggle of jobbers that surround the ring. However, during this match, only Elias can win the title. Elias dumps Truth, and Truth gets rolled back in, and Elias rolls him up for the win. Now that means Elias is your 24/7 champion. However, the rules were you cannot interfere during the match. The match is over. That means Elias now has a target as big as the belt. Truth chases Elias under the ring, the others fight, and then Truth pins Elias and wins the title back. Is that making him like a three-time champion or a four-time champion?
think one.
I think he's at like
I think it's
four.
four. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
it's
think
four.
he's at four. An icon. This title is the best thing that ever happened to him. And he's so funny because he goes through like really weird blocks of time where he's like super fucking popular for like not doing much at all. But it's like everybody gets behind him. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he can take the comedy and do it.
Yeah.
Not everybody like some people like Dean Ambrose, Goldust. They don't want to do the comedy. But our truth is like, if that should get me on TV, give me the comedy.
Yeah, he's funny. I appreciate him. Shane and the Revival arrive. I guess yeah. Shane then gets his special announcement. This leads why does this lead to CM Punk chance? Can you people get over it? He doesn't like you all anymore. He's over us. Like you're begging for a man who don't want you. We don't like it when it happens on Maury. Why do we like it in wrestling? CM Punk said no thank you. As evidenced by the fact that he ain't in WWE, he ain't at Ring of Honor, he ain't over there, what's it called? Global Force Wrestling is what they call it now, I guess. He ain't
Yeah.
in that new shit neither. He's not here. He doesn't like us anymore. Like, you should feel ashamed of yourself. Don't beg for a man that don't want you. Did your mom ever told you that? Anyway, Shane praises the Revival for taking care of the Usos on Raw, and then their help in taking out Reigns. Shane says to imagine what he'll do to Reigns on Friday. Nothing. Or drop from a tall ass building onto him. He'd be like doing that. He said he broke Reigns down like a bad dog on Raw, putting him in his place. See, that's racist talk. He'll neuter the big dog on Friday. Reigns arrives and brawls with the Revival, taking them out with Superman punches. He heads to the ring and Drew wipes out Reigns with a Claymore. Yeah, he did. Looked like it hurt too. He rolls Reigns into the ring and Shane hits a spear. I can't.
They doing your man dirty. Drew, they are making Drew a real threat.
As he should be. He's a very big man. And he's a weird one where I didn't realize how big he was until he stood next to Braun Strowman and didn't actually look small. And I was
Hmm
like, oh.
Yeah,
So,
Braun Strowman is kind of like the measuring stick for like,
yeah.
he's a lot smaller than I thought he was.
Yeah. Because it's like, when you, like, it's like when you're looking at 205 Live boys all together, they don't look small. When you see them next to like a Roman Reigns, you're like, oh, you are small. But then when
Right.
you see a Roman Reigns next to a Braun Strowman, you're like, oh, it can get much bigger. Oh, I didn't know that. So when you see somebody like Drew, and you're like, oh, you are a big boy. And I think it's good to reinforce that because he's a big boy. Like that's a man right there. He's grown, okay? Grown. But anyway, Battle of the Blondes, Alexa versus Carmella versus Charlotte. The winner will be the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's title. Carmella super kicks Charlotte, but Mandy and Sonya attack. Why are they attacking? Allowing Bliss to hit the DDT on Carmella, and our tall mocha frappuccino. She wouldn't be that. She'd be a vanilla latte. Our tall vanilla latte wins. And she's strung down the ring like that bitch. And I don't know when I decided I like her. It's just temporary.
But well, come on, that's
Don't
cool.
get your hopes up.
Just go full embrace it. Just embrace it all the way as long as you're
Now
there.
listen, I got Liv Morgan already because of some things that happened at, was it WrestleMania?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I already decided I was there for her, and it's just like that's too many blondes. I can't.
they've
I
been
can't.
doing, they've been doing those girls real dirty, man. The Riot Squad. Oh
I haven't
man,
even seen them. Where
I
are
know,
they?
right? Ever since they got smashed out by Ronda, they haven't been on TV since. And you know how long ago that's been,
That's been forever ago. Because Ronda ain't been around since WrestleMania.
right?
That's crazy. You can do something with some of them, even if it's just give them some coffee for a lesson. No,
Oh, don't do that.
that'd be awful. Don't do that. Forget I said anything. That's awful. Anyway, Kayla, why they keep putting ethnic people to interview Lars Sullivan? I feel like that also is racism. But Kayla
because
asked,
because
huh?
Vince wants he wants you to trigger that thought, the irony. That's why he was like, people my whole life have been calling me, and then everybody on our side is like a racist, and then he says what he says.
He's a mess. He snarls. He says, "Would you ask a lion why they stalk prey, or a nightingale why they sing? Why would you ask him that question?" They call him a freak, and he makes Kayla say it. First of all, you're not gonna make me say anything. Who do you think you're talking to? He said he's here to destroy, to show the world that it is full of pain, agony, and real freaks of nature, like him. Lars asks her if she likes fairy tales, and then says, "Three blind mice. See how they run." Wait, okay, first of all, that's also racism because of Speedy Gonzalez. All right. Watch how they're caught. Watch how their tails are ripped off, and that's not how the thing goes. And a portrait is painted with their bodily fluids. What kind of fairy tales your ass be reading? But yeah, it was racism. I saw it. Next was Andrade versus Apollo Cruz. Andrade attacks before the bell and lays out Cruz with the hammerline DDT. Finn Balor makes the save. They get the brawl in. Selena distracts Baylor, and Andrade lays him out with the hammerline DDT. Next, for your final segment of the night, Goldberg arrives with no pyro. So who cares? If you have no sparkles, there is no point. But the crowd is happy to see him, and Goldberg thanks them for their response. He says he's been waiting over 20 plus years to go one on one with Taker, and now he gets the match he always wanted. Taker doesn't want family man Goldberg, because remember, Goldberg's got that like fat child and things, family man. He wants the ass kicking machine, and Goldberg appreciates the advice, and he left that family man at home. On Friday, he promises that Taker will get the Goldberg he wants, and Taker will get the ass kicking. Once and for all, we will see who the better man is, because Taker is next to rest in peace. And then out of nowhere, first of all, if you've been watching WWE long enough, you already knew the dong was coming. But it's like Pavlov. You go ape shit when you hear it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you knew it was gonna happen. It still flames when it happens. So he appears and he's like directly behind him. And I appreciate that Goldberg did that thing where he was like, "What? I know where you are." So they come face to face. The dawn sounds again. The lights go off. When the lights come back on, Taker is gone. He rolled out that ring real quick. Skill set. Goldberg is like, "That's it, huh? Friday it is then. Bring your jockstrap and tie that son bitch up tight." I miss Steve Austin. I don't know why that reminded me of him, but I do miss Stone Cold. But yeah, that was how your SmackDown ended for the week.
Yeah, they gotta juice it up. Gotta get
Mm-mm.
some juice to it, man. Ain't got no juice. They got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn out here jobbing in the beginning, not even getting no real mic time. Did you see when he passed Dolph Ziggler and he told him, "No, it really should have been me." But yeah, man. Other than that, man, this SmackDown wasn't really that popping locking like it could have been. It could have been really good, but it's just missing something right now. WWE as a whole is missing something right now. I think it's the switching back and forth.
Yeah.
You can't get like you can't get set on like, okay, these are the people that's on this show. Every week it's like, oh, well, okay, he's here this week. So that means that's automatically somebody from the show you're not probably gonna see because they're taking up a spot. It was like they were like, oh, y'all know what? We got this match between Andrade and Finn on Friday. We need to hype it up. Oh, snap. How can we get it in here right quick? Okay, let's stick it in right here. Poor Apollo
Mm,
Crews just coming out there for an entrance.
yeah.
Yeah, I wish he would go back to NXT.
Who?
Apollo Crews.
Oh yeah, he should. He should.
Tyler Breeze is back in NXT.
I feel like Tyler Breeze is going to be great at NXT.
Yeah, he is. It's gonna be
Like,
should be a lot of fun.
I don't. And we'll see if it ever gets to the point where it's like, because it's like, let me get my thoughts together. What's his name? Champa.
Mm-hmm.
When he had the belt, he was making moves like, I don't need to go nowhere. This is actually the star of the crown jewel. I don't need to move up. There's no moving up because that's not better. And we all know that technically that's true, but with the way that they perceive it in the universe, it's not true. But storyline wise, work wise, it's probably facts. So I appreciate the idea that it's not necessarily like a step backwards to go back to NXT. And I feel like if they thought about it that way, they would probably go back. Certain people.
Right. The only thing is you just need to be on that main roster for a couple of years so your contract is set. So when you go back to NXT, they paying you that main roster paper.
Oh, smart. Ah, y'all are forward thinking. I like it.
Because when you're down to NXT, you're not getting that main roster paper. You're getting that independent contract paper.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's really the only reason why everybody's like, I got to get to the main roster. I'm starving.
Okay, then that makes sense. So yeah, go on to the main roster and then just like chill out in catering, like Kurt Axel did. Listen, I bet you Wyndham Rotunda's little brother would be great in NXT.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If Bo Dallas went back to NXT, yeah, he could kill it
Oh,
again.
that'd be great.
Get the Bo leave going again.
I was a believer, actually. Very much so.
I miss that Bo Dallas actually.
He's like,
uh,
he was the Yes.
Yeah. But like really, like we were talking about, I don't know who I was talking about this with, but what they need to do is they need to pare the roster down by about 30 people. And then that way, if they can cut some of the bloat off of the main roster and then just concentrate on like 25 people or 30 people, then maybe it could work. But right now, man, with them carrying like almost 100 people on the main roster, there's no way they're going to have something for everybody to make everybody feel great. And people just get frustrated because every time you go to work, you got to pay for your hotels and you got to pay for your rental car. And they might not do shit with you, but you got to show up to the building, hang around till the end, then drive the 3 hours or the 250 miles or whatever to the next place and do it all over again.
Right.
So that's gotta suck for like an easy three. That's why he be looking like that and then on cameras. So we'll talk about the quick NXT show. It was basically a highlight recap of the takeover event. We had two matches. Keith Lee, he defeated Kona Reeves. He hit him with the limit breaker. Keith Lee got the win. Then we got a whole bunch of highlights. Get the highlights from the women's takeover title match. And then they announced that next week, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae will team up to battle Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. They show us highlights from the tag team ladder match where the Street Profits became champions. And then they have an interview with the Street Profits backstage when they came through the curtain. And what was pretty cool was the dude who was always their cameraman when they did all their little promos and their little vignettes when they were trying to get their title shot and stuff. They like shouted him out and actually got him out from behind the camera and was like, this is our day one right here. He's been with us, you know what I'm saying? When we was nothing trying to get here, we finally got here. And they was talking about him more than, and he was like, hey, what about these? And he was like, yeah, those are cool, but you know what I'm saying? So they made it all about him. So that was pretty cool. Then we get some highlights from the Velveteen Dream versus Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze promo. He comments on the loss, noting that it could have gone either way, but Dream won, and he's the champion for a reason. Then we get that Damian Priest video package. And then we get our main event. Mia Yim faces off against Bianca Belair in their rubber match. Mia Yim counters the alley-oop into a hanging guillotine, but Bianca powers out. We get some kicks by Mia Yim, and then she hits a super protect your neck off of the ropes, and Mia Yim picks up the victory over Bianca Belair.
Oh.
We see highlights of Kushida beating Drew Gulak last week. Gulak claims to be the best submission specialist in WWE, and he was insulted when Kushida used the ghetto clutch to pin him. So they will have a rematch next week in a submissive match.
Oh.
Now, that's going to be damn good. If it's anything like the match Drew Gulak was talking about, if it's anything as good as that or better, yeah, that could be the match of the year in NXT TV. And also next week, we're going to get Team 1 and 2, Tony Lorcan and Danny Burch going up against Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. And then the show ends with the highlights from the main event with Adam Cole, baby, capturing the NXT title. So I'm going to go on a little rant here. Please check out the New Japan Pro Wrestling event that took place, Best of the Super Juniors. That took place on Wednesday. Jon Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose, is your new IWGP United States champion. He beat the artist formerly known as CJ Parker, now known as Juice Robinson, for that title. Great match, great brawl, great fight. He lumped Juice Robinson up hard way, and Juice Robinson had all kinds of knots on his head when they did the interview after the match. No jeans, no dirty t-shirt, He had on some like spandex shorts, no shirt, and some ASIC wrestling boots like you would wrestle in the Olympics in. No rebound clothesline. It was good shit. Tanahashi versus Jay White. Also, really good shit. Jay White coming into his own, the sling blade. And then the main event, young Will Ospreay defeated Shingo Takagi. Shingo Takagi had came into the organization last October, and he'd been undefeated. He hadn't been pinned in like 97 matches. So he'd lost some tag matches, but he hadn't been the one that was pinned. But
Mm.
Will Ospreay finally pinned him. He went through this whole tournament to get to the finals. Shingo did undefeated. So that was a really good match. So check that out. Best of the Super Juniors final. On Sunday, they're going to have another card in New Japan. Chris Jericho is going to main event that card. He's going to wrestle for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Okada. That should be a good match. Naito is going to try to get the IWGP Intercontinental Championship away from Kota Ibushi. If you do watch this, Miss Didi Jonay, this would be very,
Mm.
very fun, but you would be very drunk very fast. If you played a drinking game for
Mm.
every time one of them lands on their neck or shoulders,
Ooh.
yeah, it's like they have a personal thing to see who can make the other one land on their neck and shoulders the nastiest. It's just so bad. But yeah, you would be drunk within the first 5 minutes of this match. I'm telling you, it's just going to be a war. Dragon Lee, he's going to defend the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay earns that title shot by winning the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. So they're going to turn around and they're going to have that match on Sunday. So please check out Dominion on Sunday. Use the hashtag Cast a Strong Style. If you do, just share your commentary with color. Bunch of good matches have taken place in the last 2 weeks. Try to branch out outside of the WWE if you can. Cody and Dustin, Match of the Year candidate. Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano from TakeOver this past week, Match of the Year candidate. The match to determine who is going to go to the finals between uh, Shingo Takagi and Taiji Ishimori in New Japan, definitely Match of the Year candidate, and the Best of the Juniors final as well. So just some really great matches the last 4 weeks in wrestling. If you consume things outside of Raw and SmackDown, I would highly advise you do so at this point until they get their stuff back together. There is good wrestling out there if you just take a chance on something that's not maybe what you used to. So that would be my advice. I'll try to find some links to those New Japan matches, put those up under the hashtag what we're watching so you guys can check those out. Really good stuff, great content. So at this point, Miss Didi Jonay, it's
Hmm.
time for your shout outs and thank yous.
Oh, shout out to you. Shout out to Greg and Gray's little baby. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to Chairman. Shout out to Mel because Mel always gets shout outs. Shout out to my work wife. It's her birthday, or well, at this point, it would have been her birthday, but we still have like a week of celebrations left. Like, she planned a bar crawl. It has like bingo. I believe that we're having. I think she said we're getting like straws, like, 'cause you can't have plastic straws anymore.
Right.
Like, I think she's getting us like metal straws.
The
I
metal
think,
joints.
yeah, like it's a thing, and I was like, okay.
I hope you prepare like tonight. You're doing the right thing, drinking all this water.
Oh, it's not till next week, so I have
Oh
time to
yeah,
like
oh yeah, yeah.
hydrate.
Definitely hydrate.
Yeah, I got like nine
Start this
days to
weekend.
get. Yeah, it's interesting. And she's like, you must wear bright colors, and so I was like, okay.
Oh, I
Give
know
me
exactly
time.
what you could wear. You feel the glow shirt.
I'm trying to get chose. I'm about to be looking like a thought pocket out here.
Oh goodness. Okay.
It's funny because I'm not joking. But yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to my boss's boss's boss. That's the one who's getting married. in July. I don't actually got an invite to the wedding. I'm going to the wedding. Cause people be stingy with their reception invites. And she was like, she's funny. She like straight DC. She was like, so I can't really like invite you to the wedding and not the reception, can I? I was like, no. I was like, no, ma'am. I was like, you don't have to invite me to either, but you're not gonna invite me to just the wedding. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
one right
I,
now.
I would rather take the invitation to the reception and just be like, hey,
It,
congratulations, you're married.
exactly. Don't make me go that damn wedding, girl. So I was like, no, ma'am. And she was like, okay. All right. You can come. I was like, thank you, I guess. But yeah, so shout out to her. And then shout out to Jade, of course. And yeah, that's it.
Shout out to Miss Didi Jonay. Shout out to Greg. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to everybody that listens to the WrassleCast, Cast a Strong Style, and all the other podcasts here on the CSPN. Thank you to all the podcasters who give up their time and put in the effort each and every week to make the network what it is. Please support CSPN by clicking on the tab that says Keep Our Podcast Free at the top of our webpage. Also, sign up for the Dark Match over on patreon.com/CSPN Media. And also buy some WrassleCast merch at teespring.com/stores CSPN. So for my SmackDown Matters correspondent, Miss Didi Jonay, I'm your host, Don Delarente. This has been episode 240 of the WrassleCast. Please stay tuned for the parting promo. All right, Miss Didi, thank you very much.
Child, they putting spoilers about the little Dark Phoenix already.
Oh, word.
Apparently, so and so dies real quick.
Is it good though?
No, I heard it was terrible.
Oh, again?
Yeah, I heard Dark Phoenix was trash.
But it's Marvel. They can't do that.
It ain't really Marvel yet. It ain't quite Marvel.
It's I'm waiting. I want to see. I want you know what they need to do? They need to stop bullshitting, but um he's not the most popular character. He's not even like the fourth or fifth most popular character. They need to do a fucking Gambit standalone movie. I'd go watch that shit.
I would love that, but they were supposed to do that, but it was with Channing Tatum, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
That's not
no,
Gambit.
no, that's not Gambit.
He's not Gambit, so no, not him.
If they could put him on enough box crates and bulk him up about 40 pounds, it would have to be Matthew McConaughey because he got the accent.
See, but he's too old.
Ah, yeah.
You probably have to find somebody don't nobody know, and just like find them and be like, you gotta go work out real hard now, cause you gotta have that accent, and it can't be a put on.
No,
No,
it's got to be the real deal.
Ugh, could you get no? They're going to find somebody. It's not gonna be nobody famous. If it's good, it won't be nobody famous.
Right. That was always my favorite X-Men, and they never showed him enough as far as I was
Same.
concerned.
Loved Gambit, loved Rogue, loved them together.
Hmm. Like I was just kind of getting out of the cartoons when the X-Men cartoon started, so that's like really
Like the last one.
my little brother right behind me. That's really like his steez.
Yeah. The last one was good though.
It was a good cartoon.
I remember Bishop. I remember Storm. I remember the Phoenix. I remember all that.
It was real
I remember
good.
Beast. Yes.
Yeah, Beast was my joint. I liked him. So I don't know, man. Hopefully they'll get this thing going good because I want to see a good X-Men movie.
Yeah, I think if you give them 5 years, they'll find a way to make it right.
Well, shit,
They
yeah.
ain't been wrong yet, so
Um, they ain't gonna do nothing but make money because I mean they got Disney behind it.
yeah. And the thing is, they got goodwill now, so we trust them to do whatever it
Hmm.
is that they say they're gonna do.
Right.
But still, I just want you to take a good 5 years, find you the right gambit, get you a good rogue, because that rogue was trash. That Anna Paquin girl, horrific, terrible, terrible. No.
And Storm. Storm's important too.
Storm was trash too, and I like Halle Berry, but Halle Berry was not a good Storm.
Hmm.
And that new girl is horrific, also.
I was about to say, but like, I think that's the hardest thing. It's like they ain't gonna be able to cast Patrick Stewart here in a while because he's gonna be too old to
He's gonna
even
be
be
too old.
Professor
Yeah,
X. So it's like they got to hurry up.
yeah. I know. See, I'm the kind of person where like I know who I want on TV, but I don't know if that means they will be good in the role.
Right.
I don't know. I used to watch Sleepy Hollow though, and the girl from Sleepy Hollow, I feel like she would be a good Storm because she's like Juilliard trained, so
The
she's
black
like,
girl.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think she'd be a good Storm. I think she would look good with white hair for
Mm-hmm.
half the battle.
Right.
If she's good in action, I know she can do action
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah. We know she can do the action.
So it's like I think she'd be good at it. And she's older, so she's mature, but she looks younger than what she is.
Mm-hmm.
So she could have the role for a while. I don't know. Or who else? I don't know nobody offhand else that I would trust to do it. I did like the little Asian girl. I shouldn't call her the little Asian girl. Olivia Munn in that
Oh, she's
last.
Asian.
Well, a halvesy. But yeah.
Okay. No wonder I think she's so cute.
Well, generally white people are just, eh.
Aaron
Yeah, she's out.
Rodgers was dating her.
It did make sense to me, but then I found out she was like kind of a nerd too. She just happened to be really hot, and
And
I was
then
like, well,
he
maybe
and then he stopped dating her for Danica Patrick. What?
who is pretty, but it's different, and it's like, well,
And
it's
probably because she well, Olivia Munn likes sports and shit though.
yeah, she's into that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I always find these women who don't like sports
I'm sorry, friend, I hate sports.
like, like
Hate
98% of what I
sports.
watch is sports
Sports is
related.
trash. Oh, her real name is Lisa. That's interesting.
Sports or sports related.
Who is she? Oh, her mother is Vietnamese.
Ah,
Her mother fled to Oklahoma as a Vietnamese refugee after the Vietnam War.
just skipped
What
all over
interesting.
California, huh?
That is interesting. Maybe they were like, just keep going. Just keep going. Oh, that's interesting. When Olivia was 2 years old, her parents divorced and her mother remarried a member of the United States Air Force.
No, okay. So that explains why she
Mm.
ended up.
Oh, she was predominantly raised in Japan, where her stepfather was stationed. That's pretty cool.
She's seen the
Her
world.
her brother is a physicist. Shit.
Damn.
And her other brother is a custom motorcycle shop owner. And her sister is a lawyer. Well, goddamn. After graduating, she attended the University of
Oh,
Oklahoma,
look
where
at
she
this.
earned a BA in journalism with a minor in Japanese and dramatic arts. So she's a smart person.
Hmm.
Her whole family smart as shit. That's
Check your
interesting.
check your Twitter.
That is so cool. All right, let
You're,
me see.
you're talking about Stone Cold.
Yeah.
You check your Twitter.
Come on, Boston. Boston's so trash. They can't help themselves. Come on, Boston. I lived up there for a couple years when I was a young child.
Oh, really?
Hmm
Oh,
I remember I went to a clam bake.
those are
That was,
fun.
oh, that was a lot of fun. That was when I was too young to know about racism, so it was great. First of all, they are way too high up to be fighting like that. Like they need to get on level ground. I just see somebody taking a tumble, and I would not. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. They are throwing wild ass punches on them stairs. What if they had connected? That'd have
That's
been an
what
attempted murder charge.
that's what happens when drunk people fight. They usually don't connect. It's just a lot of grabbing and by about 45 seconds into it, they both be winded. That's why you saw like all those people laying on those chairs. They was tired.
Yeah, that's too much.
Who thought that there
Mm-mm.
were no black soldiers on Normandy on D-Day?
I don't think anybody thought about it. I don't think anybody was like they weren't there.
Yeah, my great uncle was there. He told me about it.
I think that's the thing. It's like, well, if you don't know, it's not like they would ever make it a point to tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
So you just kind of presume it's not a thing.
I asked him about it and he told me. He's like they went across the water for like 3 days in the dark. It's like they did it mostly at night when they would move. He's like they would go so far and then they at night they would move. And he's
Yeah.
like for like 3 nights it's like all black. And then it's like on that fourth night when they came to the beach, he was like it was black for a minute. And then when they hit the beach and they started all the shooting, it's like
Hmm.
everything lit up. He was like, you could see, you know, people falling left and right beside you or whatever. Yeah, he said it's
Mm.
crazy.
I saw the movie Dunkirk, and we
Mm-hmm.
only went to go see it because little Harry Styles boy was in it.
Oh my gosh.
I promise that's the only reason why I did. I don't care. I don't feel bad about it either. But it first of all, it is the most uncomfortable movie I have ever seen because it's Christopher Nolan first of all. So it don't even take the little boy out of it. It's like long shots, the sound, a lot of the times there is no sound. So like when shit
Mhm.
happens, then it comes and you're like, oh fuck.
It's just
Like
like it's like
it,
no sound, and all of a sudden, shoo, boom.
they were like they're walking through like this empty ass town, and all of a sudden it's like and they just dropping. So then they got to get to running and they got to get to the beach because it's safe on the beach. So they're at the beach. And then it's like, okay, now we can leave. And it's like, we can't leave. You can only leave if like there's a thing going on. And so they're like, oh, look, there's an ninja guy. We're here with the ninja guy. Now we can leave. And they're like, okay, great. They leave. Something happens to the ship. Like, oh, creepiest part. It's three of them together. They get on a boat. They're in the hull, and like everybody's getting fed and shit. So the two that are like talking, they're like eating the little food, and they're having a great time, like jelly sandwiches or whatever. And the other one who hasn't said anything yet is like looking around, and so he goes, "What's wrong with your friend?" And he said he's looking for the exit. And they kind of like look at each other like, "What the fuck you need the exit for?" Tell you what, not 2 minutes later, a fucking torpedo or whatever the fuck come and hit the boat. So luckily for them, they found the goddamn exit and didn't drown. And I was like, this is stressful.
Yeah, you gotta know. Even when I go to places I haven't been before, that's the first thing I usually do is just be like, where are the exits just in case?
Yeah, that's real. I
Yeah.
don't really do it that often because I figure if anything happens, I'll be the one. So,
Set it all the way off in this mother.
because I was like, I'll be looking about like where my office is in relation to the rest of the building, where it is, and like where my desk is in relation to the door. If anything pop off in my office, I'm done for. I'm right by the door.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's not even like it's an easy cut for me to go get to the door. I have to go around the side of my desk to in front of the door to close the door. It's not even like I could get to it from the side.
You just have to
So
get underneath your desk.
yeah.
Hope
I-
you feel it before they see you.
and honestly, realistically, there's no way they wouldn't see me unless they were like down the hall and I heard them before they got to me. There's no way they could miss me.
Mm.
And if they took the 3 seconds to go over to my desk, I can't hide. Like there's nowhere to hide. So it's like once you fatalistic about it, you be like, find an exit for what? To go where? Like the only way I could save myself is if there was like, and because people be shooting up schools. I have thought about this. If there was an active shooter in my building, but not on my floor, theoretically I could get out and get away
Right, right,
because I'm on the second floor, but the office is directly across from the staircase. And that staircase does have an exit that goes straight out. Now, however, that being said, you can see the front lobby from that staircase, and there's a glass staircase. that also goes down. So if there were like multiple people, depending on where them people at, I could, sit in that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man, if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Right. Right. Well,
I don't,
hopefully
I
nothing like
don't
that will
want to
happen
get
at
shot. I bet
GW.
it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, I bet you it does too. You have to just watch out for those disgruntled employees. I couldn't believe the dude in Virginia Beach was black. Like, we don't do that.
Dang, I am a disgruntled employee.
It's like,
It
you
took
don't do
everything
that.
in me not to curse out my boss today. She's so disrespectful. So I was asking for report cards. We get a report card. I don't even know how the fuck she saw it. But apparently she saw the report card that said this girl ain't been to school since January. So she probably dropped out. So she said something to the effect that she goes to Potomac. She said something to the effect that maybe Eastern knows about her status. I said, why would Eastern know about her withdrawal? And she goes, well, obviously she doesn't go to Eastern. I was like, I know she doesn't go to Eastern. I was asking you why you thought Eastern would know about her status at another school. And she was like, basically, the bitch told me, if you don't have nothing to say, shut the fuck up. In like the most professional way, I guess you can say. And it wasn't even that goddamn professional. She was like, what she said? If you don't have anything positive to add to the conversation, you shouldn't add anything. And I looked at it, and in my head I wanted to like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? But I think I stopped and I was like, okay. And I wrote noted, and I and I just sent it like who do you think you are?
It's
Who
like
talks to
you.
people like that?
It's like, if I ever catch you outside of work off these clocks.
Listen, you want to talk about some Braun Strowman and get these hands? Okay. And it took
might not get
everything in me not to walk to her office and be like, "Who do you think you're talking to?"
might not get these hands, but you're gonna get this finger in your face and a
I'll
whole
be
bunch of
like,
cuss words.
"Do you know that?" I just want to be like, "Do you know that you're being disrespectful?" Because like,
Hmm.
if you know it and don't care, that's one thing. If you truly don't know it, we have an even bigger problem. Like, because if you know it and don't care, you're a bitch. But if you don't even know, like, I don't. What am I supposed to do with you? How does this happen?
Let us pray.
Child, she not gonna pray. She got a whole little family telling her everything she do is right. She
Oh
got all
goodness.
her people thinking we the problem.
Oh my goodness.
And the whole time I'm supposed to be helping her clear encumbrances because the grant is up it this year. I was like, I don't have anything positive to say. So she was like, don't play with me. I didn't want to do your work no way. Now you're disrespectful. Please.
No, the Jonas Brothers have a new album coming out tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that will
First
get
of
a
all,
lot of streams.
Sucker is emoji flames.
I don't listen to none of their music, so I have
It took me
no.
a while, but I watched it because, they're married to famous people.
You're right. That's the
And
one
they're in the
with,
video.
yeah, that's the
So,
one with cheap. Well, I can't say her name in there.
hmm
Yeah, I saw
and
her.
then Joe's married to one of them girls, Sansa. Yeah.
Hmm.
So she's in the video too. And I was like, well, I wanna see them. So I listened to the song and I was like, oh, that's cuter than I thought it would be.
That's cool.
But I enjoy a good bit of pop music every now and then. So
What's that pop music song? I'm like, I'm a sucker for you.
yes, that's exactly what it is. Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's the joint right there.
That shit does emoji flame.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that is really good.
There was a bug flying around in my apartment.
Did you get them?
Yeah, I have that electric flashlight.
What?
I have an electric flashlight.
This is new. This is new media to me. What?
Oh, honey, Amazon.com.
An electric. I'm gonna have to hold on.
It looks like well, the one I have at least. It looks like a tennis racket. I saw it in a bar. You know how sometimes you go to bars and because they have those syrups and those fruits out, they have like fruit flies or whatever.
Hmm.
So we were there, and I saw this man like waving around a thing, and I would hear it go. Zzz, 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 zzz. I was like, "What is that?"
Is it yellow? Does it have the yellow
Mine
around
is
the end?
mine is pink. There are a lot of
Okay.
different versions. There's
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
see
different.
it. Yeah, I see it though.
Yeah, and mine is big as hell. It looked like a whole ass tennis racket.
Yeah, it
But
does.
yeah, so
They got blue and orange and
all types. So I saw him waving. I was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "It's a fly swatter." And he was like, "But it's electric." I was like, "What?" I was like, "I love that," because the thing about it is, even though I don't really have that many like flies or whatever, when you trying to swat a fly, if you don't hit it against something, you can't kill it. It'll
right.
be like, "Ah, you hit me," and it'll keep flying around. But with this, you get one ziz, and it's done for.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Keep your indoor and outdoor areas clear of flies with this electric fly swatter.
Mm-hmm.
Using a powerful DC charge, this electric
Mm-hmm.
fly swatter will kill flies and other small bugs instantly.
Yeah, dude. Mm.
So it's basically like the light, but in a fly swatter form.
Mm-hmm.
Almost
It's
a D
exactly what it is. It's like a little taser. Yeah, it's great. It's the most amazing. I don't even know what kind of bug the thing was. It, and oddly enough, it ran into my TV. So I was like, okay.
And then the next thing it ran into.
It went zzz, and it flipped over, and I zuzzed it again because I was like, I don't want to give you a heart attack. I want to kill you. Like if you just because if you ain't dead yet, that's cruel and unusual. That's torture. I don't want to torture you. I just want to kill you.
Man,
So
this is amazing. You just turned me on to a whole new world here.
listen, listen. It was such a blessing. First of all, I bought that. Then for Ruth's picnic, I bought a portable fan,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it
Oh,
charges.
you were there?
Yeah,
You didn't get trampled. Good Lord, thank you.
I didn't even see it.
Oh gosh.
When I tell you, it was nowhere near me. This is how I found out about it. It was me, my friend, and another friend. We came with two other girls. They weren't with us. I had a friend who met. She didn't really meet me there, but I knew she was going. She was telling me she was somewhere, and I was like, "Well, I don't see you, but I'm in the green seats." She was like, "Okay, I'll make my way to you." She never made her way to me. She texted me on some like, "What the fuck? What the fuck just happened?" And I was like, "What the fuck did just happen?" I'm sitting in my seat, comfortable, listening to Raphael Sadiq and a nigga with a sousaphone. So I'm like, what happened? And she was like, I think somebody, she was like, we were running. I think somebody got stabbed. I was like, what? And so I told my friend, I was like, she said they got stabbed down there. And she's like, what? So you go on Twitter and they were like, well, I heard somebody had a gun. And I was like, a gun? I was like, I feel like if there was a gun, they would like tell us, because then you got to keep us secure if there's a gun. Anybody could be shot with a gun. So I was
Did
like,
you know what really happened?
no, because then we heard it was like the stage collapsed.
No, no. Somebody threw up near projectile vomited near the stage,
Are
and
you
people started
serious?
running from it. And
Are you
you
serious?
know how in a big crowd like that, if three people break out running, ain't nobody really gonna start asking questions. They just gonna start running.
That's
Uh,
crazy. Cause yeah, that day like we heard like four different things. The vomit never came up. So they did say it was a medical emergency, but we were like, was the medical emergency the stabbing? Like what?
no, no, no. Somebody got sick. This podcast I listened to, Hot Fire Starters. Dude, they're from DC. Dude
Mm-hmm.
said one of his coworkers went and she got like all the ligaments in her knee jacked up and the bone broken in her
So
knee.
she's the one who broke her bone. They said somebody broke their like knee or something.
Yeah,
Broke their leg.
uh-huh. That was like his
Damn.
coworker or something.
Damn. I was fine.
That's why
Man.
my husband be like, man, I want to be up there by the stage. Like, fuck that. Sit up
No,
here in these
not at
seats.
all. Because that's how people got trampled. Because this year it was at like a legit park. So there was
Hmm.
grass. So people laid out. And that meant when people went to run and people got trampled real easy.
Hmm. Nah, man, I don't like ours is kind of the reverse. Like they have in the in the amphitheater, they have like the seats up front, and then they have the little gap, and then the lawn is kind of in the back.
Mm.
So like if there was a situation like that, the people on the lawn would have a big head start on the people coming out of the bowl if it was like a situation like that.
Yeah, the way this place was like there was just I guess it was basically like a field.
Right.
And they set up the stage and there was all those people. But if you keep walking, there's a set of stairs and you go around the corner and there's like the amphitheater. So those
Mm-hmm.
that's where the seats are. And so that's where I was. And me and Raphael Sadiq and Questlove and the nigga with the sousaphone, we had a great time.
That's because you know what? You've reached that auntie stage and you're like 21 Savage. I'm not gonna stand up and listen to no
When I
goddamn
tell you that's
21 Savage.
exactly what it was like 21 Savage or Raphael Sadiq. Oh, I know what I'm choosing. I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
go.
I'll head on over to see her when this is over. I don't want to see 21
I'm gonna go
Savage.
right over here with. I probably see somebody from the old lady gang.
So people talk about
Approximately
how you,
adjacent.
they be like, how come you didn't tell nobody about this? Y'all just not even gonna say anything. And I was like, what is there to say? They were like, it was ruined, was it? Like I had a great time. And it was like I feel like an asshole for being like it wasn't ruined for me.
Yeah, right,
Like it was
right.
amazing.
Depends on what you came for.
Listen, I had a seat, okay?
First and
Well,
foremost.
when I went to get my drink, there was no line. Hallelujah. Like, what is there to complain about? I'm not mad at nothing. But then again, I didn't get trampled because I didn't go see 21 Savage. So
Right.
I win.
I think I would have been over there with you. Like Raphael, I'm going to go see Raphael Sadiq. Maybe he'll do some Lucy Pearl songs.
He did, what did he do? He did a little bit of them Tony songs. He did some of his songs. And then he sang a couple songs that he wrote for other people. Like he wrote Kissing You.
Hmm.
Like kissing you is I'm
Hmm.
thinking. So they did that, and that was beautiful. And then he did the song with the damn sousaphone. I can't get over the sousaphone because I knew the song had a sousaphone, but I ain't thinking you about to bring out no damn sousaphone. So I'm like grooving in my seat with my head down, and I was like, wait, that sound, bitch, is that a sousaphone? I love a sousaphone. I really just like saying sousaphones.
Gotta be true to the art now.
Yeah.
Those people came for a show. They came to see the Roots. So I've never seen the Roots. And every time I go, I cut a song for free at my job once, but I had to
Mm-hmm.
work at my other job. Boom.
Um,
And then every time you try to go see them somewhere around here, they're like the amphitheater where the tickets is like ridiculous. Like I want to see y'all, but golly, I want to pay 150.
yeah, Roots Picnic is a good time to see him because I saw uh Black Thought. He performed with Most Def or whatever he goes by now.
Yeah.
Um, and then when Raphael Sadiq came out, Questlove was on the drums, and
Right.
so that'll happen. Then the Stampede or so and so happened, and some people cleared out, and it's so funny because we were with these girls and they were like, "I'm so traumatized. I'm having flashbacks. I had to go." Okay, girl. And so then
Okay.
they're like, "Well, it was cleared out. Everybody left." I was like, "Everybody did not leave. It was it was crowded. First of all, everybody who was around us stayed, and then when we moved to the place,
We
they
moved
were
right where all those
yeah,
people weren't anymore. We got right
yeah.
by the stage.
I was like, and so I guess because of that, my friend was like, "Well, I don't be by the stage." She was like, "We gonna find a nice little a monitor, and we're gonna be right there." But there was plenty of fucking people, and they were trying to make it seem like there was some mass exodus, girl. And I'm like, "Honey, that's not
All
what
the
happened."
white people left. Yeah, okay.
Child, no, they didn't. You know, white people ain't afraid of nothing. They were still first, and then plus also they were looking at Raphael Sadiq too. They didn't know either.
Something like that happened in Statesboro on Georgia Southern's campus. So they have something called Orange Crush, and so this was Orange Crush weekend, and so like It's like a black college thing in Georgia, so it's like a big thing. So anywhere there's a black college on this weekend, it's like a big turnout, parties, just people just out. So we're out. I'm like 16. I'm just like, learning how to like go out with my cousins and shit. And there is a ass of people out here on this street, man. And these dudes are carrying a cooler, and I don't know what the fuck they had in it, but it was heavy as fuck. And they dropped that shit, and it went boom. And man, all you seen, because it was like a crowd of people, and I seen the dudes up in front of me with the cooler. And when they
Mm.
dropped it, I saw them drop it like, oh, they just dropped the cooler. But when it made that sound, all of a sudden, man, you just seen a wave of people in front of me, all of a sudden, like in unison, all drop down and they all turn and they're all looking at you like, oh shit. And so literally you just have to fucking follow suit and run
Mm-hmm.
and hope that you can like bounce off somebody and not get tripped up and just kind of stay on your feet until you can kind of like break out to a spot by yourself where you hope you don't like fall over the curb or something. But yeah, man, had to run like 20 feet. And then once everybody was like, it's just a cooler, man, we just dropped a cooler. And I was like, oh, okay, okay. It's like, damn, what are y'all fucking running for? But yeah, that was one of the scariest things I've ever experienced, to see a whole crowd of people duck in unison and then turn and see all these eyeballs just like looking at you like, oh shit.
Mm.
So that's kind of what happens. It's like if you stand there, yeah, you will get fucked up. So you gotta run just to kind of
Yeah, you
protect
gotta
yourself.
go just so that you don't get caught up in it.
Right. Right. So dangerous, but it's just some throw up. Damn. Shouldn't have been drinking in all that heat. Well, all right, Miss Didi. Until next week, June 20th, I have to check back with our world traveler, but that's our slated ladies' night.
Okay. Yeah,
But
I have y'all on the calendar.
yes, I will check back with her this weekend to make sure that she was traveling this week, I think. So hopefully she'll be back in a one stable place and I can get in touch with her.
Okay.
All right. I will talk to you next week.
Okay. Good night,
Good
friend.
night. Have a good weekend.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.